Thinking of starting a reef tank, but not sure which fish to choose? Welcome to Loving Pets channel. In this video, we're diving into the 10 best saltwater fish that are colorful, hardy, and perfect for both beginners and seasoned aquarists. Our criteria for recommending a saltwater fish include three main aspects: bright colors, fascinating behaviors, and the ability to thrive in an aquarium setting. Essentially, the fish should be appealing to own and simple to maintain. Whether you're building your first reef or upgrading your underwater world, these fish will bring vibrant life to your tank. Let's explore the perfect marine companions for your reef setup. When selecting fish for a saltwater aquarium, balancing vibrant colors with durability, the damselfish is undoubtedly the best choice. We believe that most seasoned saltwater aquarists would agree with our preference for damsels at the top of the list. With around 235 species globally, there is a vast array of damselfish to choose from. With a few exceptions, the majority of damsels are robust and simple to care for. The damsel group consists of 4 subfamilies, with the Pomacentrinae family housing the hardiest species. A word of caution regarding the genus Chromis. These damsels can be quite fragile and thrive only when kept in groups. Conversely, the yellowtail blue damsel, Glyphodontops hemicyaneus, showcases stunning colors, is very resilient, grows to about 2 inches, and is relatively affordable. This fish is less territorial compared to some other damsel species and will consume nearly any type of food. Moreover, its colors remain vibrant both in captivity and as it matures, which is not always true for many saltwater fish species. Lastly, this damsel is not particularly prone to illness, although it can fall victim to cryptocaryon and amylidinium if not treated promptly. Second on our list of recommended fish are the Pseudochromis, often referred to as dottybacks. They tend to be pricier than damsels and are quite intolerant of other Pseudochromis species in the same tank. Yet they are very resilient and do not exceed 3 inches in size, making them ideal for even the tiniest saltwater aquariums. Our favorite species is the bicolored dottyback, which features a purple head and a yellow tail. It bears a close resemblance to the royal grama, but is significantly more robust. Another pseudochromid species showcases the same purple and yellow color scheme, but it is split between the top and bottom. One species is entirely purple. Some pseudochromids are quite rare and can cost over $100, but unlike many rare and pricey saltwater fish, these are just as hardy as their less expensive relatives. The third entry on the list is the clownfish, which is beloved by many aquarists. Due to a mix of inadequate handling methods during capture and transport, along with a high vulnerability to certain diseases, newly acquired specimens can fall victim to itch and adenium. Clownfish are not as resilient as the 2 previous fish families, but if they are properly acclimated to captivity, they can be quite robust. The common Percula, clown, Amphiprion ocellaris, is a favorite among saltwater aquarists, yet it is unfortunately the most fragile of the group. The larger species, like the tomato clown, fire clown, and sea bee clown, tend to be a bit hardier. We prefer the tomato clown. This species retains its vibrant color well in captivity and appears to thrive even without an anemone to inhabit. They do grow somewhat larger than other clownfish, occasionally surpassing 4 inches. However, even at that size, they do not show significant territorial aggression. Cardinal fish are choice number 4. Although lacking stunning colors, they are hardy and totally without aggression. They generally grow to about 3 inches. Cardinal fish are nocturnal, note their large eyes, and should have hiding places available in the aquarium. When first introduced into your aquarium, leave the lights off to prevent the fish from going into shock. In terms of what species to choose, it's a toss-up between the pajama cardinal, Apigon nematopterus, from the Pacific and the 15 or so species of red cardinal fish from the Atlantic. The one advantage the pajama has is that it doesn't seem to hide as much as the other species. There are 2 species of pajama, one having better defined colors than the other. Next on the list are the blennies. For hobbyists seeking bright colors, these fish won't do at all, but they have great personalities, are very hardy, and only grow to about 4 inches. Most blennies lack a swim bladder and therefore stay near the bottom of the aquarium. Blennies have fairly large canine teeth, which they may use against other fish if they feel threatened, although this rarely causes any damage to the fish being attacked. All of the brown, or mottled colored blennies are hardy. The choice of species depends mostly on what is available. One species commonly seen in stores is the Molly Miller. Some species of blenny have forsaken staying near the bottom and spend most of their time swimming in open water. These are the forktails and the mimic blennies. Fork-tailed blennies are often attractively colored but are somewhat more delicate than the bottom-dwelling species. Mimic blennies have evolved a unique method for obtaining food. They have developed colors and patterns that resemble those of other fish. As an example, one Pacific mimic blenny looks like a species of cleaner wrasse. Fish will visit a cleaner wrasse to have parasites removed. When a fish approaches the mimic blenny, which resembles the cleaner wrasse, the blenny takes a bite from the side of the fish. Keeping a mimic blenny in a community aquarium is, needless to say, not a good idea. Hawkfish occupy spot number 6. They have many of the same habits as blennies, but are much more colorful. Sometimes called rock hoppers, they rarely swim more than an inch off the bottom. Our pick here is the spotted hawkfish found in the Indo-Pacific. There is a similar species from the Atlantic, but it is not as colorful. The two most popular species of hawkfish, the flame and long nose, are difficult to acclimate to the confines of an aquarium, but if they live through the process, they can be relatively hardy. One possible reason why these species tend to adapt poorly to captivity may be that they live in deep water. We have chosen the Canthogasterity pufferfish for number 7. Although pufferfish are usually very pugnacious, this group of dwarf puffers is the exception. They rarely exceed 3 inches in length and won't bother other aquarium residents unless you happen to keep invertebrates in the aquarium. These slow-swimming fish use their pectoral fins for propulsion and their tail fin for direction. This puffer is a mimic that matches perfectly the filefish that inhabit the same areas. This mimicry differs from the blenny in that the pufferfish uses the mimicry to hide among the inedible filefish, thus escaping the notice of predators. For recommendation number 8, we've selected the gobies, particularly the Atlantic neon goby. The neon goby, one of the first fish to be spawned in captivity, is a cleaner fish that, like the cleaner wrasse, is visited by other fish seeking to have parasites removed. Don't expect much of this type of activity in your aquarium, however. First, the parasites that typically infest fish in a home aquarium are too small for gobies to find and eat. Second, in the confines of an aquarium, the goby is likely to become sick as well. When this happens, all cleaning activity ceases. The last 2 fish on my list are not at all compatible with the other species I've discussed. I've included them as examples of hardy, colorful fish that are suitable for larger saltwater aquariums. Triggerfish are very popular with hobbyists who have large aquariums housing the more aggressive kinds of saltwater fish. As fish go, triggerfish are relatively intelligent, often learning to recognize the person who feeds them. Triggerfish have sharp teeth and tend to be territorial, so finding suitable tank mates can be a challenge. One solution is to keep the trigger in an aquarium by itself. Of this group, the undulated trigger is probably the hardiest, with the clown trigger being a close second. Large triggers like to redecorate and can often be seen grabbing a large piece of coral and moving it across the aquarium. Last on the list are the ceranids, or groupers. Some species, such as the baselets, are compatible with most of the species already listed. The true groupers, however, which are hardier, grow quite large and are best kept with triggers, lionfish, and moray eels. Groupers are carnivorous and have mouths that are very large in proportion to their size. Thus, they are capable of swallowing fish that ordinarily would seem too large to be a meal. The purpose of this list is to give the beginner and even the more experienced hobbyist a better chance of successfully choosing fish for a saltwater aquarium. This is a list of personal favorites. Your dealer will also be able to provide other recommendations for fish that are colorful, hardy, and likely to do well in your aquarium. Of course, there are hundreds of saltwater aquarium fish that can be kept. Many of these have somewhat more demanding requirements than those I've recommended. In addition, some species are hardy under normal circumstances, but require both experience and skill to keep alive if acquired while suffering from the effects of poor collection and shipping practices. These fish were not included in the list presented here. Thanks for watching. If you found this guide helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more marine aquarium tips and fish-keeping insights. Got a favorite saltwater fish? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, happy reefing and may your tank stay colorful and healthy.